In this cavern with a window, these ancient paintings have survived for more than 1,000 years, but to find them we had to get a little lost first. We arrived in this part of Utah with the goal to find Wild Horse Window. Once we arrived at Goblin Valley State Park, they gave us a map. This revealed that Wild Horse was at the edge of the park and we would not be able to access it from this point. So we altered our plans. We would park at Observation Point and travel through Valley 1, exploring the goblins on our way to Goblin's Lair, which is a collapsed cavern with 150-foot high walls. The goblins are entrada sandstone that were sculpted over millions of years by wind and water. However, mythology has something very different to say about these structures. It says that they are mischievous goblins that once roamed the valley. They are now petrified goblins, frozen in stone. As we continued navigating toward what we believed to be Goblin's Lair, we realized that the mischievous goblins were definitely playing tricks on us. It wasn't quite as clear-cut as it seemed from the map. The straight-line trail that we drew out from the overlook to the Goblin's Lair didn't exist. It was more of a maze. Additionally, we were bumping into the canyon wall and there was no way around it. We knew that Goblin's Lair was just on the other side of this sandstone wall from the map that we received, so we decided to hike around and try to find a break in the canyon wall. Challenging way, flatter way. We saw a break in the wall in the distance. This was our chance to get to the cave. Hopefully he'll make it. We could finally see the trail that would take us to the cave. Unfortunately, a ravine was standing in our way. This was clearly not the route that was going to get us to Goblin's Lair. I see a trail. This is not going to work. After hiking around the goblins for a while, we ended up right back where we started. Fortunately, we knew where the trail for Goblin's Lair was now. It was time to hike through the open desert to find this unique and mysterious cave. This collapsed cavern is also known as the Chamber of Basilisk. The Chamber of Basilisk often comes from European legend and is translated into a deadly reptile, traditionally meaning a serpent or lizard with deadly powers, possibly even the powers to turn goblins into pure stone.
You're goofy.
Hiked through the Utah desert with the sun beating down on us, I couldn't help but notice the boulders that had tumbled from the top of the towering butte over the past millions of years. These fallen boulders seemed to have a goal to hide the Goblin's Lair, which they performed very well. The cave was not even visible as we were at the base of the Goblin's Lair, so we began our difficult climb around the fallen boulders to explore the cave. We had an absolute blast climbing around these caves and exploring, but our exploration was not yet done. The whole reason we came to Utah was for a hidden trail on the edge of Goblin Valley State Park. The rumor was that Native Americans that used to roam the area left pictographs in a cavern. So we traveled to the edge of the park and began our hike on another hot and maze-like trail. The cavern teased us early with glimpses from a distance. It seemed as if the cavern was going to show itself and direct us straight to it. This was not the case, as the cavern ducked and hid behind the rocks the closer that we got. Additionally, there was no clear-cut trail for a lot of this hike. We spent a good bit of our time stopping and looking for the next set of cairns to navigate to. We entered the last canyon and could see the destination getting closer with every step. We were very excited to see what we would discover. It was known that Native Americans had lived in this area. Did they leave messages behind for us to discover? Did this place hold some kind of spiritual or ceremonial significance? The sun was not relenting, but we had one final push to see our destination. Standing here, looking at these paintings, I realize I'm staring at a message left more than 1,000 years ago. The meaning has been lost in time, but that only makes the mystery that much more powerful. In such a unique cavern, I can understand how this location was considered special. If the stone could talk, what ancient secrets could it reveal? Maybe this was once sacred ground, but now it sits quietly, hidden in the mountains, holding its past in silence. We may not know what truly happened here, but someone left a piece of their story for us to find. These paintings were documented in a 1969 survey, though many questions about who painted them and when still remain a mystery. We came to Utah to wander among goblins, climb into hidden caves, and study ancient paintings on cavern walls. We were successful in our quest. As we peeled back the layers of time, it was humbling to stand in places that have captivated human imagination for generations. From the modern myths of goblins to thousand-year-old pictographs, it makes me wonder, centuries from now, what will explorers discover about us?